What's going on, guys? It's Bryce again. Welcome to the Expedition to Try podcast. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and I'm assuming a lot of you don't either. So let's try and figure it out together. On this episode, I talk with my friend Clare Johnson. We talk about Clare's experience at Binghamton University, as well as some of her passions that she pursues now and hopes to pursue in the future. And we also dive into how she's managed her mental and physical health throughout the past couple of years, and how she's grown to become an advocate for herself, and how she hopes to become one for other people in the future. Awesome. So how you been? I haven't talked to you in so long.
I know, it's been so long. Wow, life has been crazy.
I mean,
Wow, just so much with my going abroad experience and then coming home and then having this happen. It's been a lot.
when how long has it been? About half a year, 6 months about? You graduated last year, right?
Yeah, I graduated in May,
Okay.
so yeah, almost a year. Wow, I keep forgetting it's April.
Yeah, I know. It seems so weird. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore
It feels
because
like 2020 hasn't started.
I haven't
Like,
even left my house in the past like 4 weeks.
yeah, right. And you're still in Binghamton, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
until May.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then are you moving somewhere else?
I'll be back in Rochester. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, if I'm allowed to travel back there, we'll see
Yeah,
kind of where everything's at that point.
yeah. Oh, so weird.
So, what have you been up to? How's it been living with all this quarantine and craziness and everything?
Um, it's been a little stir crazy, honestly. And it's been really weird, like this transition, because I came back from Up with People, and I was going to start, and I did start like applying to jobs and looking at jobs and stuff. But now, like, that's like not a priority for like any company to like start hiring new people. So nobody's really hiring. So it's not like I can work from home or anything. So it's been a lot of like just trying to like distract myself because I can't really go anywhere. It's like weird. Like for the first time in my life, like I don't have any big responsibility, like
Yeah.
school or a job or anything. It's weird.
So, what have you been doing? You've been reading, working on the YouTube video, obviously. I wanted to talk to you about that at some point, so that'd be cool. Yeah. So, what are you up to? What have you been doing?
Yeah, I wanted to start that YouTube channel kind of as like, I mean, like I've been wanting to do it for years, and like the perfect time is right now while I have so much time on my hands. As kind of an outlet for what I'm feeling and hopefully helping people who may be in a like similar situation as me and like what I've gone through. So that's been really fun working on that and starting that. Um, Other than that, like drawing, I've gotten back into it. Like it's a good time to like get back into things that, like maybe you've like fallen out of.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, a lot of drawing, um, watching new shows, stuff like that. Yeah. How about you? What have you been up to?
About the same. I've been trying to do the podcast, obviously, trying to get more people on to talk to and see what they're up to. Been painting a little bit, trying to get into some drawing, watching TV, reading the basic stuff since I can't really go anywhere. So there's not really much else to do. Um,
Yeah.
but
Right.
it hasn't been bad. I actually I quit my job in January that I was working at. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was kind of already home doing not really anything anyways. So this wasn't much of a change for me, but
Mhm.
now it's just weirder that we can't go anywhere. Like grocery shopping even is weird.
I know. We like home deliver groceries now. Like we don't go out.
It's
And
the best. I went to Walmart yesterday with TJ and it was just it literally feels like the apocalypse out. They're like everyone's wearing a mask. They're like funneling people into one door and like counting how many people are going in and out. It's wild. It's just completely different outside. It's not even worth it to go anywhere.
I know it's so like strange. Like I feel like we've never experienced anything like this before, like in our lives. Like I feel like we've had a few things before. Like I remember swine flu when I
Mm,
was in middle school. It was like a big thing, and maybe something else, but like nothing has ever been like to this extent where we've had to
no.
be quarantined and
Yeah, no. Well, we'll get through it just like everything else. But we could talk about more positive things.
yeah.
So I don't know if you've listened to like any of my other ones. I've been kind of talking more about the process. So what was your process from like choosing what college you wanted to go to in high school or whatever it was, and then like choosing your major? What was your whole process to figure out what you kind of wanted to study?
Wow, that's a loaded question for me because let me try to think back to high school. So I applied to a lot of colleges. Like some people, only apply to like two or three they know they want to go to, but I applied to at least 10. Maybe like upwards of 15. Like it was a lot of colleges I applied to. Um, and when it came down to it, I was between James Madison University in Virginia and Binghamton. And JMU was my number one. I really wanted to go there. That was my number one. But then it came down to money, and my parents were like, if you go to Binghamton, like we'll pay like all your tuition, and you can have a car your second year. So I was like, okay, obviously when they go to Binghamton. So that was kind of how I chose it. It was kind of, I didn't love the idea of doing it, but that's like how it ended up. But a lot of times you end up loving, like, like where you go regardless. So that's what happened to me. Like I didn't have high hopes, but I ended up being there for like a month and I loved it. I made the best friends. I started dating Joe and I'm still dating him. Um, and then I didn't pick my major until freshman year was all just like getting through gen eds and like figuring out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do a theater minor the whole time, but I didn't know what my major was going to be. Um, and I remember we had to decide before the end of sophomore year. So I decided in the fall of sophomore year, after like going through all the majors and like talking to counselors and stuff, um, I decided to do economics, which I'd never really been interested in before. But I went into college thinking I wanted to do English because I loved English in high school and I really loved like Shakespeare and writing and everything. But like when I got to college taking English classes, for me they were just too tedious, honestly, and I was too bored and I knew that I couldn't do that for the next 4 years, like just straight writing and analyzing. Like I wanted more of a challenge, I think. So I didn't really know what I was getting into when I chose economics, but I did it. And there were classes I liked and classes I really didn't like, but yeah.
So what are you're looking for a job kind of in the economics field, but obviously it's kind of difficult at this time to find anything like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually like through my the past few years and my experiences I've had with like my health, um I've actually had more of a like motivation to go into public health or like healthcare administration or something like that. So I don't know honestly even like what kinds of jobs to look for. It's kind of confusing because like I have so many interests that overlap, like economics and health and like theater, and it's just such I have such a weird resume. It's a mix of like the weirdest things. Um so yeah, I'm not even sure like what to apply for, and it's just a very weird transitional period.
Yeah. So kind of not fully in the economics field. You're looking more into the health and all that. So not really as much economics anymore.
Yeah, yeah, or kind of like applying a little bit from what I learned in economics to healthcare, like healthcare affordability and accessibility. One of the classes I took in college was health economics, and that was like my favorite class. So yeah.
Cool. So and then I always like to do the complete opposite of what people studied in school and what they plan on going into like a job field. What's what are some of your passions that you enjoy pursuing or hobbies?
Yeah,
Anything that like not so much the work and the money aspect, more like what you enjoy doing in your free time.
yeah, definitely. I think theater. And I think we have a shared affinity for that because we both did HBC in college. That's always been like one of my favorite, just like side hobbies. Um, and I hope to keep doing that in some capacity in adult life too. I'm not sure how, but definitely something with theater. Volunteering after this is all over, I'd love to find somewhere to like volunteer. I did a lot of volunteering work in Up With People in my like gap program, and I'd love to find a place to like consistently volunteer at close to home. So I'll be looking for that as well as a job. So
Cool. And
yeah.
so you said drawing too. I didn't even know you drew. Do you do other art or is it just drawing or do you paint or what do you do?
Just like a lot of sketching, I think. Like I did a lot of it in middle school and like I'd say like high school, college, I'd like kind of stopped doing it. But when I was younger, I did a lot of sketching and also cartoons. Like I have like journals and journals of like cartoons that like now probably looking back are really stupid, but I really enjoyed doing that. Yeah, cartooning and tracing and stuff like that. I'm not really into painting. I've never been good at that, but
Were you
yeah.
the type of I was always a student who would barely pay attention in some classes and just like be drawing on the side of the paper and then
Oh
like the teacher would ask a question I'd be like, "Oh shit."
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I was a total doodler all of college. Definitely, definitely. All my notebooks are lined with like stupid drawings.
So what are there any hobbies or anything that you feel like you would like to try or wish you were doing like in more depth at this time or maybe like would like to try later in the future? Like you said, theater. Is there anything else that you kind of want to push more into your life?
Yeah, I think some form of like consistent exercise, like especially something that I would enjoy. Like I never got to do a dance class in theater or in college just because I didn't have time to like fit it into my schedule ever. But I think doing a dance class, like I've always wanted to do one, and if I could like find some way to do that, that would be awesome. Because that's something I'm also like always been interested in, but never thought I could do because I'm clumsy. But like I'd love to try it. Um, and then also like knitting or sewing. And I did costume shop as part of my theater minor in Bing, so I got like a little introduction to that, like tailoring clothes and using like a sewing machine and stuff. But like, um, yeah, I really liked it, and I haven't really had opportunity to do it since then. But I really enjoyed doing that. So